How you guys doing? How you doing? Today we're going to be talking about child support. It's been going on a lot. A lot of people have heard about it, but I know that you haven't delved deep into it to understand what child support really means. Now, child support, on one hand, is basically everybody looks at it as a negative way. It means that you failed. You're not successful anymore. So basically, um, the family divides, and basically, it's always like the man has to take care of the family. But in reality, sometimes it could be the woman, sometimes it could be the man. So, and it's based on who makes more money, or who's the home taker. You know how it goes. But what's very very exciting is that National Child Support Program in the United States successfully handles massive annual volumes, processing nearly 30 to 33 billion in collections. That means that that's what they're making. Fees, penalties, child support payments, and federal funding, and income withholding. Man, that's a lot of money. State and federal program process around 29 to 33 billion in support payments annually. We just said for roughly 12 to 13 million children. Wow, that's a lot. 13 million. That is a big percentage out of with 346 million in the US, and that's 13 million. The average payment for child support is around $671. You see, despite high grasp volume, only 62% of authorized support dollars are successfully collected. That's a lot. That's still a lot, you know? So we see that money being taken, and most of the time it's coming out of where? The black family, the black community. You see that we're saying that we spend $2 trillion a year in purchase power, but we're spending close to 15 billion in child support. If we could advocate that money back into the black community, we'll do really good. You see, especially coming from the men. If they followed the tradition of getting married before interacting with a woman um, sexually. So we kind of see that. So child support is vital safety net, you know, utilized by many black families across the United States to ensure children receive financial support. However, the system enforcement practices, which often fall disproportionately on low income black non custodial fathers, remain subject of debate. So, in the black community, data shows that the count roughly 49% of all child support cases are black custodial parents. 49%, that's half. You could just say half. So half the child support is black, then 20% is Hispanic, 10% or 15% white, and other group minorities make up 8%. And that's because many black people are low income, you see. Now, um, most 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 black families, most black mothers who are in child support received anywhere from 2,000, from 800 to 2,500 a month. and that's based on the income of the man. Now, it impacts black people big time, and we've seen it a lot. Study shows that about 7% of historical child support debts in California is owed to the government to reimburse public assistance. Recent advocacy by the Western Central on Law and Poverty has succeeded in preventing the state from intercepting support payments intended for families. Now, we do know child support got sued and they lost in court, but here in California, child support is still being enforced. So yes, the California Reparation Task Force highlighted the disproportionate burden of child support debt on black residents. The task force officially proposed advocate for terminating interest accrued on black child support and forgiving debt based solely on parents' ability to pay, rather than enforcing harsh 10% interest rate that penalized income workers, which is true. The you know these uh, to, these I know there was a time when people weren't making their payments, and we could identify those people. But to make one system that works for all is not good. You should understand that everybody has a different circumstances, and I know they do their best not to enforce that 10%, but that is so cruel. Stopping bias and pushing for equity. You know, uh, the basically a woman could bring somebody's identity and say he's the father, and automatically you're getting a bill. And the part of them playing around with the mail-in service, not giving the father the mail, not keeping the father informed with the court procedures and what's going on, and then creating a division because they're like, oh, you can't talk to your husband, husband cannot talk to wife. So there's a big division. We need to make sure that the father is getting treated fair in the process and in the courts, because a lot of time the father's not told anything. He doesn't even know that he's getting divorced. He doesn't receive or child being put on child support. He doesn't receive the letter, and he lives at the same house, you know, and he doesn't have good advice. He's just told to sign it or he's going to jail. So a lot of them gotten older now and realized they were screwed over, so they're suing. You know, so we see that. So basically, that's a lot for 50%. So for 50% of Black people, for the demographic being that most Black people are on child support, are paying child support. That's 49% of the cases. That's a lot of money. So, and custodial parents, out of all custodial parents in the US, the Black population is 17% to 27%. So, it's a lot. It's a lot. And now you don't pay, you miss your payment, they could pull you over on the freeway and arrest you because you're not paying your child support. They're looking for you on the freeway, whether you're a truck driver or you're just a resident going home. They're looking for you on the freeway. Highway patrol officer is circling around, swerving, looking for you. They know your schedule now with AI. They can even see you through your phone. You're signing the contract, third party can take my information and analyze it. So we see there, it says that return on investment, the federal program, remember, child support is a federal program. We've been talking about federal programs since Monday. last week. So the federal program is relatively effective with Elon Musk, SpaceX, to child support. Yesterday we were talking about what um we were talking about what we're talking about hip hop bill federally funded. I'm sorry about my TV. I didn't know that the TV wasn't playing. The volume was down. I didn't know that. Uh, we talked about the bill for how immigrants are using the bill. The the wife can sue the husband for rape, for assault, and the other um, bills they passed for them. We talked about the Shirley Act, Stop Nick Shirley. We talked about the CCP, Chinese Communist Party, and the bills that were passed there. That's what we talk about all day here, bills, you know, and we read up on information. So it's really big. You know, when we look at this, you should go look into it and understand what the I mean, child support is. And we also talked about the child protective services a couple of days ago. Yes. So make sure, that's a lot of money. That is a lot of money, $30 billion. That money is going to judges, lawyers, doctors, hospital visits, funding. Oh, we need money for these kids. We need money for these mothers who can't take care of the kids. So the federal government gives more money. They take it out of your Social Security. That's what they're getting it from, your Social Security. So when they do that, you see it and you understand that um, if we follow the law, get married, if you have a baby, maybe you have to do abortion, which is not a good idea. But we need to get off of the wrongdoings because it's affecting us and it's affecting our money. The fact that um, we got young black Democrats saying reading and writing and education is for white people. I can't believe somebody would say something like that. We invented reading, we invented writing, black people, we invented English. Uh, these people who are coming from who knows where, maybe they were tribal people, because we know those are people who don't like to read and write, people who are nomads, they're nomadic. So they're basically, you know, out there and they don't like culture. I mean, they don't like to build. They don't like to read or write it. They always look for the short way to get rich, the quick way to get rich fast schemes. So those are the people we're dealing with. And they don't like education, but it's affecting our community because the Black Democratic woman supports this. She's given birth to this problem because she doesn't have a lot of options. There's not a lot of good men out there. So in the black community, we got to do better because that's a lot of money we're giving away. Um, we have been, black Democrats have been monetized. You've been monetized. The Asians own the grocery stores. Now they're owning the businesses. The white people and the Ashkenazis own all the residential properties. The white people own all the fast food and the police and the airport and the military and the government, and they just feed off of black people to fill their prisons, to fill their media, organs, fast food restaurants, European items. Black people are the one, but they said you're only 18%. No, you're not. You're 45% plus. Every month they hang 6 to 10 black people. Abortion is in the millions. And you guys are still here strong. You guys got to know that you're being used, you're being monetized. They ask white gated community, let's raise some funds. We don't got nothing here. We don't got no plants. We don't got no mining. We don't got no gold. Nobody wants to buy our lumbers. We're not farmers. We can't live our nomadic ways no more with goats, sheep, and cows because they took it all. So what do? We build a prison. And then we create a police force. We pass some laws. And we focus on the black community. And for each black person we put in jail, we get federal funded $100 a pop for each one we put in there, plus $75 an hour. We got our judge over here supporting us. They're going to help us out. So that's why you got to know how this system works. It's capitalism. You are monetized. They're watching you. They're following you. You're how they make money. They take your inventions. They buy it from you. Then they sold it to China. Now China's in control. It's not good. Y'all selling your supply. Louisiana chicken. It's not chicken no more. Popeye's chicken. Rats everywhere. You know? Y'all still House of Pancake. It's all, there's no black person working there. It doesn't have that soul. It doesn't have that flavor anymore. You know? So things are changing out here, man. It's just bad. It's just bad. Just taking L's all day. That's a lot of money. 33 billion. Yeah, divide that. Black community is given what? 23 billion. That's a lot. 1 billion is a lot. 23 billion. And the black community is given paying out to child support. That's too much money. That's too much. Man. I can't go to sleep tonight. And I don't even pay child support. But that's too much. You guys got to do right. Numbers can make you change. Numbers don't lie. Man. So that's it for today, man. That's a lot. That's too much money. I saw that. I said, I got to come here and announce this. Black men, we got to keep this child support number low. We just won our case in court concerning being accused and for victims of child support predators, basically city officials. But we're making sure that we're fighting back because now we have some brothers out here who are, it's not mostly talked about, but are on the front line fighting for us. 33 billion out of that is 23 billion coming from the black community. I got to say it again. That is too much money, brothers. We could use that to build our community. We should be out here building skyscrapers. The Asians are over here building all the skyscrapers. I mean, all the apartments. We should be over there building. Black people are too concerned with basketball and football and hip hop, rap. Leave that ish alone. We got to focus on the money, on the prize, on our community and protecting it. California is horrible. It's already gone. There's no black people here. Chicago, New York, New Orleans, Atlanta, um, South Carolina. These black communities, see, you saw how they were fighting against illegal immigration. They know what's up. They're awakened. They understand what's going on. They fought back. They fought back in New York, Chicago, New Jersey, Maine, everywhere. Black people fought back in the East Coast because they said, "Hell no, we're not California," and they're still fighting till today. Then they try to take their properties. Now they're fighting against deed theft. Chicago's East Coast black people are fighting daily. They gotta fight. They're fighting everybody. They're fighting the Russians. They're fighting the Soviets. They're fighting the Ukrainians, the Armenians, the Asians, the South Koreans, the Chinese, Bangladesh, Somalians, Iranians, Persians, Ashkenazis. Um, who else? Mexicans, El Salvadorians, Honduras, um, Brazilian, Colombian, Cuban. We're fighting everybody. There's no peace. We got 21 fronts. We're in the trenches every day. You know, this is too much money. It's too much. Federal funded. All right, guys, have a good day.